Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is my 9th update for my project pan for 2022. So I'm doing this in the Team Project Pan style. I'm doing it very similar to I think what Kat has been doing. So I've been doing just like makeup products, like face makeup products, and that's been pretty much it. I did have a few different things earlier in the year, but now we're just really focused on face makeup. Let's start going through the products. My setting spray that I'm using is a new addition since last month. It is the Benefit the Porefessional Super Setter Spray. I talked about I don't really know. Oh, I do have a line on this. I don't really know where I'm at, but I'm close to the bottom. I need to draw a new line on this. I'm going to shine a light through and then I'll put the photo up. Took photos of everything else. I didn't do a photo of this because I forgot that I was able to see this with the light shining through. I don't know if I really care for this. I don't know if it does a whole lot. I will be putting it to the test though. So between now and next update, you probably won't see a difference because I'm actually storing this with my trip makeup. So long story short, I was supposed to go to Disney World. A little thing called Hurricane Ian came through. So I didn't even make it there. My trip, everything was canceled. It's fine. Of course I was a little upset, but obviously that was a way bigger problem. I could have maybe made it work. I could have gone a couple days later, but I was just like, it's not worth it. They've got a lot to deal with. Let them deal with it. I knew Disney World would definitely be back up and running pretty quickly because obviously they're going to want to try and make their money, but it wasn't worth it to me to try and push it. And for personal reasons too, my personal life, it didn't really quite work. I could have made it work, but it would have been a bit rushed. So I've postponed it. I'm actually still going, but I'm going in November. So I'm super excited about that. Everything's pretty much planned almost exactly the same as it was before. A couple little differences, but for the most part, it's exactly the same trip, just a month and a bit later. So it's all good. So anyway, this is going with my Florida makeup, so I'm not using this right now. I might even be able to finish this while I'm in Florida. But yeah, I'm taking this with me on my trip. So last month, this was 34.38 grams. It's now 30.28 grams. So that's a difference of 4.1 grams. And again, there won't be a change on this in the next update, but then the one after that, there'll be a change. My primer is also a new addition to the list. I added this last month. It's the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer, and it's the mini size. I got the little trio with the three, the matte, the regular, and the luminous. From a value perspective, that's not worth it. You don't get a lot of product in these, but if you're wanting to try the different types, because they are all different, it is worth getting to try. Or if you want a mini primer to take with you traveling, which this is actually not coming with me traveling. I'm taking a different primer. But yeah, this little guy, not quite finished, but it's pretty close. So I'm not gonna guess. I know this will be done by the next update for sure. So last month this was 12.41 grams. It's now 10.61 grams. So that's a difference of 1.8 grams. Foundation, one of two that I'm working on. The first one is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation in Rose Vanilla. I was able to draw a new line. Again, I'll put a picture up. I have to shine a light through this to see where it's at right now because it's getting pretty hard to tell from just looking at the side. I haven't used this one a whole lot. I've been using the other foundation a little bit more. It's hard to say which one I've used a little bit more, but I've also been playing with another foundation. I've been playing with my, Misha foundation. Just kind of testing it because I was thinking about taking that one to Florida with me because it has SPF in it. I'm not taking that one. It's the Misha one's not coming with me to Florida. But anyway, so I have used this a few times. Again, when you see me in a video, 95% of the time, it's this one. At least the last, whenever I rolled this into the project, it's basically the one that I wear when I know I'm going to be filming. Again, I just sort of mix it up between this one and the other one. I've been wearing the other one a bit more because I just kind of a lighter coverage for most days, and this one's a little bit heavier, but still not too heavy. I quite like it. I've repurchased this already twice now, and I would repurchase this, I think. So I'm torn between getting this shade or I have the other shade for $15, I want to say. But I think I'd repurchase this one maybe because it does seem to work. It's still working for me. So I think I get better use out of this shade because I think I do prefer this at this time of the year as well. We're fall technically now, but it's still working well for me. So last month this was 85.44 grams. It's now 82.99 grams. So that's a difference of 2.45 grams. Second foundation that I'm working on is this Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in Sand. This one is a little dark for me. Like generally, it's still working for me, but I'm on the cusp of it not working for me. This one is going to go to Florida with me. So again, like the setting spray, there's going to be no change to this because this is so I'm basically leaving everything packed as is because I've already packed. I packed everything already. I'm gonna have to take the stuff out and like iron my clothes out because they're gonna get really wrinkly being packed. But I'm basically keeping everything like packed and put away, and I'll just revisit it like the week before I go to make sure I've got everything that I need. But yeah, so this is staying with all of my like Florida stuff. So this last month was 24.21 grams. It's now 22.43 grams, so that's a difference of 1.78 grams. The concealer that I'm working on, this concealer keeps trucking. I'm not sure if I'm just using stuff that's in the sponge because I'm not sure if anything's coming up when I turn it. Like it looks like it's at the bottom. Again, I'll put the photo up. Like there's like nothing in the bottom, but I'm still getting product out of this. How I use this is I use this to sort of blank slate my eyelids. So I put this on and then I put my eyeshadow primer on and then my eyeshadow. I just feel like I've got a lot of veins and stuff. You know, it's the pale British skin. I got a lot of veins and stuff. And I also have the scarring around my eyebrows from the microblading that I cover up. So that's how I use this. But it's still going. So we're gonna just keep using it, keep it in the project until it dies. So last month this was 20.77 grams. It's now 20.41 grams, so that's a difference of 0.36 grams. The powder that I'm using, this is where I differ quite a bit from Kat from Beauty News. She goes through powder like a beast. I do not. I have more dry skin, and I would say like it's combo-ish at times, but I just don't use that much powder. And this is the powder that I've been working on. It's the Sephora Mineral Compact Foundation in R15. So this was in my project, I think last year, and then I brought it back this year. And it's going slow. It's going. I've taken the photos, but I haven't actually edited them. But I'm pretty sure this is looking different than it was last update, but it's slow. Like I don't think I'm going to finish this by the end of the year. I'd be surprised if I finish this by the end of the year. It's a very thin powder, so I don't feel like I'm using a whole lot when I use it. But I like it. It's quite nice. It's working for me. I don't think this like powder exists anymore. I don't think you can buy it. So that's kind of sad. I don't know if I would repurchase it though. Maybe. It would have been affordable because it's Sephora brand. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't exist. So last month this was 46.58 grams. It's now 45.89 grams, so that's a difference of 0.69 grams. So I've thrown in a single shadow from the NYX Ultimate Palette in Warm Neutrals, and I'm still working on it. So it's this shade right here, this sort of light goldeny champagne. I did repress it. Not a whole lot left. I think by next update this will be done. I've been using it, like I use it like as an inner corner, just like even lightening up, like not even inner corner highlight, but like just sort of a lighter shade on the inner portion of my eyelid. I do use it as brow bone highlight. Having a hard time saying that. Brow bone highlight. And then I sometimes use it as like a highlight. There's a video, I think it's my anti-haul, and I'm pretty sure I used this as the highlight because I'm like, man, my highlight in that video is, she's blinging. It's because it's an eyeshadow, so it's a little more intense than like a regular highlight. But yeah, I think I will be done this by the next update. That's the goal anyway. There's not a whole lot left on that. So last month, this palette weighed 95.68 grams. It now weighs 95.46 grams, so that's a difference of 0.22 grams. And that's the only shadow in this palette I'm using, so it's all from that shadow, all the weight change. Another new item that I added in last month is my bronzer. So it's the Tower 28 Bronzino bronzer in West Coast. And this one's getting a pretty good dip in it. I mean, you can even see it from here, but I'm sure the photo will show. I think it's not a very deep, I mean, it's pretty thin packaging. I think I'll hit pan on this by the end of the year. I'm enjoying using this. I do sort of layer it. I generally don't wear it on its own. Sometimes I do, but I generally will layer it with a powder bronzer as well. I'm a bronzer freak. I love bronzer. I definitely probably wear way too much of it, but I really like it, and I like this. This is a little different. It's a little unique in my collection. It does have a bit of golden shimmery to it, but it's not too much that it's like too much, you know what I mean? So last month this was 39.24 grams. It's now 38.67 grams. So that's a difference of 0.57 grams. Last thing I'd want to say on this is it definitely blends nicely, but doesn't blend away. Like I feel it lasts well, but it does blend well as well. It's like it's a good happy balance. Whereas I feel like the Nude Sticks one, I could inadvertently blend it away if I really wanted to. The blush I'm working on is a repressed blush. It's the Annabelle Blush Duo in Doll Face in this CoverGirl packaging. Guys, we can see like a whole lot of pan happening. Like that inner ring is almost fully exposed and there's little specks of pan showing up in the bottom there. I don't know how well it'll show up in the photo, but those little specks in the middle, that's pan. So this is definitely going to be a photo finish type product. I'm not 100% sure I can finish it by the end of the year, but we will be pretty darn close. So I'm happy about that. I feel like I've done a good job, and finishing a blush feels like a huge milestone for me, especially after trying to do that blush palette last year and just like epically failing. I like this blush. Again, it's generally, I would say maybe 70% of the time you've seen me in a video, I'm wearing this blush. Like it's the one that I wear most days, but I do mix it up every once in a while and wear like the blushes in the Hourglass palette. I haven't been pulling a whole lot of singles out, at least recently. I did have a few singles when I was doing putting them in my sort of themed project pans, but I haven't really been using other blushes since. So it's really been pretty much this and the Hourglass palette. So last month this was 58.34 grams. It's now 58.11 grams. So that's a difference of 0.23 grams. The highlighter I'm working on is the Milk Highlighter in Lit, and this is just a mini. This is moving along. Again, the more I use it, the more I like it. This is something that is going to come to Florida with me, but I'm still using it. Like I'm still actively using it. So I hope I remember to repack it. But yeah, I love this highlighter. Sometimes I wear it on its own. Sometimes I wear it with a second highlighter. Today, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing this and I'm wearing the Wet n Wild highlighter. It's getting a little bright. Lighting's a little all over the place right now. So I'm wearing this, and then I have the Wet n Wild, don't remember the name of it, petal something, pinker one over top of it. So that's my highlight today. So yeah, I really enjoy this product. I'm really contemplating buying this again. I don't know if I would or not, because I probably want to try other ones. Like I think the Flower has like a liquid highlighter that I'd like to try. I don't know. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. We're still working through it. There's not a whole lot of products left. I feel like we're getting pretty close to the end on this, but I don't think I'm going to finish this by the end of the year. If I used it every month from here until the end of the year, the same pace that I think it was like July or June, where I really used a whole bunch of it, I've kind of backed off a little bit. I'm not using it quite at that pace anymore, so I don't think I'll finish it by the end of the year. So last month this was 16.98 grams. It's now 16.61 grams. So that's a difference of 0.37 grams. The eyeliner that I'm working on is this Cleo Noir black eyeliner. Don't ask me about the brand. Don't know anything about it. Don't know. It was a top box thing. We're getting pretty tiny on this. So again, I have no qualms about finishing this. I think I will finish it. And I'll be glad to see the backside of this. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's a fine liner in terms of like it's very black and it's creamy, so it glides on really nice. But because it's creamy, it doesn't dry down at all, and it like gets everywhere. It like transfers, it wears off. It's not a very good liner. So I'm generally mixing it with other liners. I do have it on today, but I am wearing magnetic liner as well because I have magnetic lashes on. But yeah, like it's not a great liner, so just finish her up and get her out. I mean, like again, it works, but obviously I wouldn't repurchase it again because I have no idea, like the brand doesn't exist. But yeah, it's not bad enough that I would pull it out of the project and just like declutter it. It's workable enough to use it and to finish it and say goodbye. So last month it was 4.75 grams. It's now 4.69 grams. So that's a difference of 0.06 grams. And then the last thing I have in this project right now is the Annabelle lip liner in Spice. Again, I think this is moving along. I think I've sharpened it since last update. I'm not 100% sure. I guess I'll see when I see the photos and we see the side by side. Pretty sure I've sharpened it since then. I've been wearing it a little bit more, I think, recently. I feel like I've been wearing it a little bit more, but maybe not. It's hard to tell. I feel like the weight on this sort of fluctuates, and some months I use it a little bit more, some I use it a little bit less. It's definitely getting into a season where it's kind of the right color. It's sort of that like warm nude color, so it's working really well for me for like a fall type lip color. And I really like pairing it, I'm not wearing it today, but I do like pairing it with like a pink lipstick or something a little more cooler, and it gives me like a really interesting sort of neutral lip that would be different than the lipstick and different than the lip liner, but forces combined, they make a new color. So it's kind of fun to play with it that way. So last month this was 2.43 grams. It's now 2.33 grams. So that's a difference of 0.1 grams. So that is my 9th update for my Project Pan for 2022. I think things are moving along well. Obviously nothing is rolling out this month and nothing rolling in this month. Probably next month the only thing will be the primer, and then I've got to figure out what primer to bring in for the last couple of months or 3 months of this project. Still haven't figured out what I'll do with that. I was thinking about just doing another mini, but I might pull in a full size, knowing full well it won't get finished, but it might be good to like start working on a full size. I have a couple Becca highlighters that are full size, or primers that are full size. Becca highlighter just goes. Like, you know, I didn't even have to think about that. Just flow together. Becca primer. I have a couple of them. One of them is like not great from what I remember. I think I need to play with that one. So that might be a candidate. If I finish the e.l.f. one early, which I probably will, I might play with a few of the primers and figure out which one I'm going to use next. Other than that, I don't think anything is going to roll out. Oh, the eyeshadow. I guess the eyeshadow will roll out, and I'll figure out if I'll roll something in. Maybe another shadow. There's a couple shadows in that palette that are close to being done as well, like 2 other ones, so maybe I'll just work on that. I'm not sure. Maybe I just focus on my eyeshadow palette that's like barely making any progress. Anyway, I hope you liked this update. If you did, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.